2 months ago, Britain's world champions and world record holders were not happy people at the end of the World Cup race here in Milan. So will it be different now we're at the World Championship final? On the far side, the Cambridge and Oxford partnership of Pommern and Franson. In lane 2, De Vita and Lowry, the World Cup champions for the season, representing, of course, the host nation. And here are the defending champions, Matthew Pinsent, and in the bow, James Cracknell. To their left, the Croatians, who beat them here in Milan, Sinisa Skelin and Niksa Skelin. The Australians, who were disappointing fourth a year ago, and then in lane 6, closest to you, last year's silver medalists, Ramon Di Clemente and Donovan Ketch.
Well, this is going to be a great race here, very tactical. The Australians, very interesting because they're unknown quantities. They haven't been over at all. They've been lying low back in Australia. But they come good halfway through the race, and you've got very good, powerful starting crews in the world champions from Great Britain and Italy. They'd both like to get out fast.
Well, a year ago, Dan, when we were coming up to the Seville final, the British also had a far from perfect preparation, but they came through in some style. In a way, they've got to do the same thing again, but here you can see them going off, and it's not the most convincing of starts.
Well, it isn't, and Australia actually have got out fast. They're usually sitting about 5th or 6th at this stage, but they look like they've gone out ahead of everybody. They've just really turned their tactics right around. They're at 45 strokes a minute, and they have taken the lead right off the start, and that is something that no one expected. They usually like to get into their stride and then feel their way into the race at halfway, and then they just power away over the second half. But here they are, and they have taken the lead, and Tomkins, 38 years old, Olympic champion in fours in 92 and 96, he has taken this pair and taken on the field, and they are sitting there looking very relaxed already with about a quarter of a length on the field.
Great Britain and Italy on the far side there, vying for second and third, with South Africa out of your picture, also in touch. Well, in fact, everybody's very much in touch. But James Tomkins on the near side there, going through the first quarter. This man who's won a gold medal in every sort of sweep boat.
Yeah, but Great Britain sitting looking very threatening there. Saw Cracknell just look across, but they're sitting pretty good there, and you have to think that maybe the Australia, with this change in tactics there, they may well find it quite hard to maintain this pace in the second half. So Great Britain, as long as they keep that good rhythm, keep their confidence, they will be very much in the hunt over this second half of this race. Italy there, the top of the picture there, you can see them, usually the very fast starters, and that's where probably Great Britain would have expected the first initial challenge to come.
Yeah, it's a young partnership, but it's been pretty successful. Giuseppe De Vita, only 21, Lowry's only 23. So it's a partnership not just for today, but also for tomorrow.
Yeah, you've got to look at the Great Britain pair, though. They've got such experience here in this event. They've been champions for the last 7 years now in fours and pairs, and Pinsent goes back to 1991 since the last time that he was beaten. In fact, 91 he won. He hasn't been beaten since 1991. That's an extraordinary record. He stands on top of the all-time record, but my goodness, Australia are moving out now to a length. They have opened up quite a lead on the following field, and it's only Italy really in lane 2 who are picking up the chase.
Indeed, these two boys from Victoria, coached by Chris O'Brien, have really got the bit between their teeth. Italy going after them. Slightly concerned now, Dan, that Great Britain are not keeping themselves on the premises. They're not as tight and as close, and they're not dominating in the way that we believe that they need to.
Well, they've actually slipped back now into third place, fourth place even, and Canada there on the far side, they are still in the picture as well. South Africa back in 6th place, but remember how fast they came at the end of the race last year. But it's Australia out in front, with Italy putting them under pressure in this second 500.
Drew Ginn, a man who's had more than his fair share of accidents. These two, of course, did win the world title in 1999 and were hoping to be the partnership for Australia in the Olympics, but Ginn couldn't make it. Tompkins teamed up with Matt Long for a bronze medal.
Yeah, well, here comes South Africa now. South Africa closest to us there, rowing very nicely. And no mention yet of Croatia's Skelin brothers. The Skelin brothers, who really are very powerful in the middle of their race. They're sitting there now in lane 4, and now they're beginning to move into the contention here. very powerful pair. They came out of the Olympic 8 for Croatia, which won bronze medal in Sydney, and they've been very strong on the circuit in this pair, and they've stayed in the pair. They've moved now into third place, just behind Italy.
But a little bit like the Australians, Dan, the Croatians have kept themselves to themselves. So that's what makes this so fascinating, because there's quite a lot we didn't know that we were waiting to see. Now, the Australians have certainly set out their case here. The Croatians are going to have to come from behind. The South Africans are going to come with a rush. We know that. The British surely have got to make a move, and soon.
Well, Australia at 36 strokes a minute. This is higher than usual, but they are absolutely aggressive here. Humiliated, really, last year when they were so dominant and so clear. They have come here for revenge, and by goodness, look, that's a length now at halfway.
And the British are, at the moment, out of the medal positions. They are only in fourth place, just 3 seconds separating, less than 4 seconds separating the whole field. And to be honest, Dan, only Canada, I would say, are out of the medal race at the moment. They're just slipping back. But here comes the bow of the Croatian pair, Sinisa Skelin and Nikša Skelin, and they are now really putting it in. They're past the Italians. They are ahead, I think, of the British, and they are now chasing hard on the Australians.
There's the British bow there, the yellow boat in lane 3, but the important thing is here is that though they are the strongest, most powerful pair in this event, whether they use that power effectively, that is the question, because they have a tendency sometimes under pressure to shorten up, and they certainly look like they're under pressure now. You saw Matthew Pinson there look across. He's looking a bit anxious. They're up at 40 strokes a minute now, and this is still in the middle of the race, but they are pushing back now. They are pushing back, and they are moving, but they are getting shorter. They're missing strokes. They are not rowing quite as well, but they are doing what they usually do in the last 300 metres of a race. They're having to do it here at 1,200 metres.
And the triple Olympic gold medalist Matthew Pinson trying all he can, but at the moment in the silver medal position it is the Croatians, Sinisa Skelin and Nikša Skelin, with on the near side here. Here comes the bow of Ramon Di Clemente and Donovan Ketch, and the British at the moment are not in a medal position. They are trying to close down on the Australians. Ginn and Tomkins, though, with a clear advantage, and they are going to take the gold and reverse last year's fourth place into victory ahead of Croatia, then South Africa, and that is a shock of seismic proportions, Dan. Great Britain, the world champions, only fourth.
Unbelievable. That's a complete reversal of the order from last year. It was first, second, third, fourth, and now it's fourth, third, second, first. And that is the South African crew meddling yet again. Great performance from them. Through to third place there. Skelin brothers always going to be strong, but the shock is Great Britain forced into fourth place.
Pillar to post for Australia's Drew Ginn and James Tomkins, receiving their medals from Tricia Smith, a member of the FISA Executive Committee.
Well, for them, a complete reversal of their usual tactics.